Now remember, this is just for the people who view that all animal experimentation is wrong, and or...
Well, who argues that? There really aren't a lot of people that say all animal experimentation, and because an animal can be a bacteria, sentient creature exploitation or experimentation, or conscious or sentient animal experimentation. I mean, certainly there's a lot of experimentation can be done on animals that have been deprived of their sentience, and I don't think there's going to be a mass of people who are going to say, oh, that's completely unacceptable. I don't think so. All right, it's about torturing conscious feeling animals in insane Dr. Frankenstein kind of ways. And again, I would raise the question to you, if you're going to throw this crap at us, that we have to value these life and all this other stuff, and human life is so precious, well then why do we allow the world to be the way it is? If you think human life is so precious, why could I take a $50 bill to Africa and buy a human life? I can buy somebody their life, okay? I can prevent their motherfucking death with 50 fucking bucks. Alright, that's the practical fact of the world we live in. So if life is so fucking valuable to you, how do you justify that fact?
Believe that the value of an animal is equivalent to that of a human being. I know this is one of those, between a rock and a hard place questions. But
no, it's a stupid question because it has nothing to do with the nuances and realities. It has nothing to do with reality. It's a question that can't be answered because you haven't pointed it to address the real questions that are raised by all these tiers of values. There's not just one value that can cover the whole fucking subject.
Wishes it to be. Do you accept the treatment and acknowledge that really you're the worst kind of hypocrite? It's a case of do as I say and not as I do when it comes to crunch.
Yeah, well, we all do that, right? That's why we have laws. That's why we have a social contract, laws, we have a constitution, all that stuff, because we're all vulnerable to being assholes, okay, for our own personal welfare. We're all vigilantes at heart, I'm sure. Okay, if somebody killed my daughter, I'd want to beat the shit out of the motherfucker. Okay, that's just an honest reaction. That's why you have laws that say, well, look, there's no point in beating him up. I mean, it's not going to bring your daughter back. It's just going to make one more person suffer. No point in doing it. Eye for an eye is stupid. We'll come up with something better. I mean, just fuck you. You just want to deliberately tangle the subject up in a bunch of unnecessary emotion, and then you complain about the emotionalism.
Do you refuse the treatment and let your child suffer and potentially expire? A case of you sticking to your principles by placing them ahead of your child, which makes you a pretty lousy parent. In fact, I go further and say that anyone who feels they have the right to deprive any other person that particular treatment because it violates their principles is a pretty lousy excuse for a human being.
Yeah, well, same to you, fucker. I think you're a lousy excuse for a human being. I think you're a useless piece of shit. You're not the kind of human that's going to make the human race better. Alright? Because you're too stupid to figure out there's billions of humans on this planet and we don't give a damn about them. So if you add up the human conscious hours and all the rest of this stuff, well, look, if somebody dies, so what? They're going to die anyway. We're all inevitably going to die. So all you can subtract is the amount of human hours lost. And like I just pointed out, we could buy human hours of consciousness in Africa, pennies on the dollar. So if you're so obsessed with human hours of lifespan, okay, go prove it, fucking bastard. Go prove you give a damn. That's your hypocrisy. That makes you a disgusting piece of shit. Because you're only using this argument to justify your own selfish desire to make your own life easy at the expense of some other sentient consciousness.
And I'm going to be thankful that I disagree with you.
Yeah, another point I'd raise in here is, look, we got people in prisons. We could have them volunteer for laboratory experiments, take some years off their sentence. If they got, they're in for life, maybe they want to get out again. So maybe we'll knock their sentence down if they subject themselves to some experimentation. There's some people who'd volunteer. I mean, before you're going to fucking drive a screw through a chimpanzee's testicle, I think I'd probably rather take his place. Not that I'd like to go through the experience, but I know it's almost going to be the same thing. There's not going to be a fucking difference. And he's doing it because he's a slave to your brutality. He's a slave to your disgusting segregation of him because he doesn't measure up to what you think is intelligent enough. So fuck you. Yeah, do it to me instead. Look in my eyes when you caused the torment and the torture, you little ghoulish bastards. Look into my eyes, see me suffer, and then talk about that it was worth it. That you think it was worth it. Bastards.